So how many are active on social media? half an arm. Okay. Any of you feel as if you're actually like generating business, getting leads, getting attention, being seen?
Not at
According to
all.
LinkedIn, people look at me. They don't even comment
But they don't
or
know.
like anything.
Nobody knows, right? They just take a peek.
Okay, so I'm just gonna give you some tips and help you kind of understand the logic that is going on in these social media platforms and how you can actually start to maximize and benefit from this logic so that you actually do start to potentially get seen and engagement and generate business. So I work primarily on 3 specific platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I'm a social media marketing strategist and a coach. I've been in business since 2010. I did start out being the yes, I'll do it for you, but realized that's not really my jam. That's not really where I shine, I should say. I'm definitely an educator at heart. When I learn something new, I'm like, I want to like scream it from the rooftops and like, you have to know about this. This is going to make a huge difference. So about 6 years ago, I want to say, I shifted everything to really more of that model as being like the trainer, coach, strategist. And so the way I work is I have something that's called a 30-day social media facelift. And so clients come to me. I work almost exclusively with real estate professionals, but they come to me with the frustration of not seeing return on their efforts in social media, but also with the understanding and awareness that it can be incredibly effective and powerful in getting your brand and business in front of a huge market on these platforms that are free. Keep in mind. So whenever you're using any social media marketing platform, there's 2 markets that you always want to make sure that you're keeping into consideration. There's the market that knows about you. So these are going to be your friends and your family members and your followers. And then there's those that don't know about you. So they're out and about in social media land, and they might have a need for what you have to offer, but they don't know about you yet. So talking about the ones that don't know about you, which is really kind of the ones that we definitely want to become visible to, that is really where every social media platform has what's called an algorithm. And that's really what is either helping you be seen by those that don't know about you or preventing you from being seen. So the algorithm in every platform has one primary goal, and that goal is to keep the user community happy. So the way it does that is by ensuring that the information that shows up on the newsfeed of every single individual user is right in alignment with what that user has an interest in. So you and I are dictating all day long what we see show up on our newsfeed because we're either posting about what we're happy and celebrating or not so happy about, right? So all of this is being monitored by the algorithm. It's very big brother, and Zuckerberg is spending millions of dollars on doing this because they want to create what's called predictive analytics behavior. So that when you do go into Facebook or Instagram, everything that's being served up to you is very much creating an enjoyable experience for you. And this even spills outside of Facebook or Instagram, right? You go to Google and search for a pair of shoes, guess what's on your newsfeed, right? It's shoes. So if you can understand how to really kind of like maximize and leverage all this data that is being profiled for every specific user, that's when you can really start to see some return on your efforts with a strategic approach of using social media. Because over time, once the algorithm starts to get a sense of what is it that a user has an interest in, it actually goes and scans all of the millions of business pages that are out there looking for content that might match up and produce content that it can serve and match up to a user community based on their interests and activity. The challenge that 99% of my clients have is that they're using their social media pages to sort of be all about them and an everything to everybody. The problem is the algorithm doesn't have a profile called an everybody, right? So step 1, before you even launch into using something like Facebook or Instagram, is you want to really get clear on the who it is that you're wanting to attract. So when the algorithm scans every page to start to kind of figure out what a business page is all about, there's 5 questions that it's looking to get answers to. It wants to know who you are, what you do, how you do it, who you do it for, and where you do it. The 2 questions that tend to get neglected the most are the who you do it for and the where you do it. We will talk all day long about who I am and what I do and how I do it, but the reality of it is those answers to those 3 questions should be coming from the perspective of the who. Make sense? Because you really want to understand what is the pain and the problem that that particular who has that you can solve. And so when you can get clear on the who and get clear on their problem, then you want to incorporate all of the keywords and all of the hashtags and all of the call to actions that are addressing that particular demographic. So like the, hi.
Hey, sorry, I'm late.
That's okay, come on in. So a lot of the analogy that I use, Carol, for real estate agents is the lifetime, the lifestyle and the interests and the behaviors of the first-time home buyer, millennials married with the little kiddos, very different from that of the 55 and over baby boomer, right? That's transitioning into the second half of their life. So when you can get clear on the who, that's when the strategy that is crafted is based off of that who. Does that kind of make sense? That it's really the keywords, the hashtags, the call to actions, your graphics, your videos, your content strategy, and your community engagement strategy. It's all literally based off of who it is you are wanting to attract. And I say community engagement strategy because gone are the days where you can just push content out and be seen. There's too much noise. You have to layer on top of that with what I call a community engagement strategy, which means that you proactively go out into Facebook or Instagram and you seek out those businesses that also cater to and attract that ideal demographic. And you start to connect with those other businesses. You start to connect with the community that those other businesses have already done all of the work of trying to, gather and collect. The other thing too that is kind of a misconception is that we think that as business owners, we have to come up with the content that we post on our pages, and that's actually not the case at all. As long as what you put on your page adds value to the community that sees it, the algorithm doesn't care. So you don't have to be thinking like, oh, I got to create a cute video or I got to create a cute picture or something. You can do that, but if you find the other businesses that cater to that same demographic and they have really high engagement on their content, you can just simply share that onto your pages. And chances are you'll probably get some equivalent level of engagement as well, because it's going to be more of interest to them and less about you. Does that make sense? So does anybody in here kind of have a really clear sense on who it is that they are wanting to attract, make a niche market? Yes.
Yeah. Like better known businesses, women-owned businesses in the trades and services world.
Yeah, perfect. So there's 2 different types of, let's just isolate Facebook, for example. So there's 2 different types of sort of other Facebook business pages that you would want to seek out and connect your business page with them. One are the businesses that cater to veteran-owned or women-owned, but not necessarily here in the Denver area, but more like a national global. So these are going to be things like influencers, magazines, service providers, podcasts. So you kind of want to think about, those are the types of businesses that are going to provide you with the content that you could simply start to repurpose, because they're going to have a much larger population of people that have engaged with that post, because it's all about engagement. So if you find a post that has high engagement and you share it onto your page, because what happens is when you post onto your page, let's say you have 500 likes on your Facebook page, the algorithm does not show that post to all 500 people. It shows it to a very small percentage, like 10. And the reason why is because it doesn't want to run the risk of, putting something in front of 500 people that doesn't add value to 500 people's experience. So it has to do a little bit of a market test first. So it shows it to 10. And if those 10 that see it do nothing, they don't like, comment, share, click on the picture, click on the link, then the algorithm says, well, this didn't add any value and I'm not going to run the risk of showing this to any more people. And it's in the Facebook graveyard. It's done, right? But if the 10 that see it, if they do engage and you get some engagement, likes, and comments, then the algorithm says, okay, this is adding value. I'm willing to show this to a few more people. And then if they engage, then it's a few more people. So it's all about getting that ripple effect of engagement, because the widest ripple is when the algorithm will actually show that post to those that don't know about you yet. But you have to sort of earn the right and prove that you add value to those that know about you before it'll start to show it to those that don't know about you. So I'm just going to follow that thought because I'll forget. So when you go to another business page, for example, there's tons that cater to veterans, and they have a post that's received like, 25 likes and 10 comments and 15 shares. That's a great, what I call a heavy pebble post, right? Because if you drop a little pebble in a pond, you're not getting a big ripple. So you want to find those heavy pebble posts that when you drop them onto your page, you're going to get that big ripple. So you kind of want to look for what I call the heavy pebble posts on these other pages, because when you share that onto your page, there's less reluctancy by the algorithm to hold it because it's already shown to the algorithm that it adds value to the community. So instead of it being 10, it might be like 100 that it'll show it to. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes.
So when you're saying connect with other businesses and pages, it's just as simple as sharing their content.
Yeah, it is.
Any other ways to get the algorithm?
So there's a feature that every business page has that most business page owners in Facebook don't know about, and it's actually called the news feed. So you know how when you go into Facebook and you're at home and you're looking at your news feed, that's the post from your personal Facebook friends, and you're the only one who can see these posts unless you decide to share it onto your personal page. So you have the exact same news feed that is attached to your business page. But the only difference is that on that news feed, instead of seeing posts from your friends, you're going to see posts from the other business pages that you have liked as your business page. And so the process of liking another business page as your business page is when you go to that other business page, there's a like button that's screaming at you. Don't click that one, because that will just allow you to like it as your personal. There's you kind of slide over, so it'll be this way for you guys looking at me. You'll slide over to the right a little bit, and there's a box with 3 dots, and you click on that, and you get a menu, and one of the options is like as your page. So you click on that, and you'll get a pop-up. If you've got more than one page that you're an admin on or not, you just pick the page, hit submit, and now all the posts from that page will show up on your news feed that's attached to your business page. So that's the strategy that I teach, is to connect with the pages. And I was kind of going all the way back to what I was saying to you with 2 different types of pages, is the pages that cater to your community more on a national or global level, right? Like the magazines and the media sources. But then you want to find the businesses that cater to that same demographic in your local area and do the same process like as your business page. So that when you go into your newsfeed, which all of my clients, I recommend that you do on a consistent basis, because then that allows you to start to engage with all of those posts as your business page, not as you as an individual. And the only caveat is that when you do look at these other business pages, there's no point in you liking another business page if they don't have engagement, right? Because you're really wanting to just connect with those business pages that have good heavy pebble posts, so that when you see those posts show up on your business page newsfeed, then you can just simply share them onto your on your business page. And especially for those businesses that you don't have a relationship with yet, but you'd really like to, and you'd like to start to become visible to, those are ideal. And you're not liking those businesses for the heavy pebble. You're liking those businesses because you'll see their posts on your newsfeed, and every day if you go in and you just like, they're getting notified every single time that your business is liked, or you can share it, and then, you know, you're helping feed their algorithm. And so it's an incredibly powerful strategy that, coupled with a good content strategy and the community engagement side, is really where you are starting to be seen. And 50% of what the algorithm looks at is, does your page add value to the people that know about you? But the other 50% is, are you a business page that supports other business pages? So going into the newsfeed, by liking all these other business pages, you're also basically getting the attention of the algorithm as well. So hopefully that was helpful. There's so much more I could talk about.
Wow. It's a very deep well.
Yeah,
Thank you for recording, Simon.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
We're gonna need to refer back.
yeah. Carol has a question.
Yeah, I do. So that's all Facebook. How do you do that in Instagram? Because you can't share the content, or how do you effectively share content from someone else's?
On Instagram, only through the mobile app. It's the only way you can do it. You can't do it for the laptop. And you have to share it into your story, and then from the story, you can put it onto your feed. Yeah, it's kind of a backwards approach.
So you have to share it to your story.
You have to write that down.
Yeah.
You have to write that down.
So there's an
Yeah, exactly.
icon that
Right.
looks kind of like a paper airplane. You know, you've got the heart and the speech bubble, and then the third one is the paper airplane. That's the sharing to your story icon that you have to, if you see somebody else's. Yes.
So if I understood your short presentation that I caught, sharing a post about your business does no good unless there's interaction. So like unless, I don't know, like likes, comments, shares. So I have I'm questioning it now, but I hired a company to basically just post like on all social medias, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all they're doing is you know, they do a post daily. In my head at first, I said, okay, that's awesome because I don't have the time to do it. But all it's doing is posting. I get some likes here and there, but I don't get like a call saying, oh hey, you know, I saw your post on Facebook, or a direct message because of it. But now that you're saying that if you're not following all these other like business pages that are, you know, having like like you said, the heavy pebble, you know, posts,
Yeah.
it does no good. Is that what I'm understanding? Is that correct?
Yeah, and the
Like,
service
how
that you
effective
hired,
is what I'm having done?
yeah. The service that you hired is really typical of
Yeah.
what most of my clients have. Unfortunately, I consider that mistaking activity for progress.
Perfect.
So I'm a strategist, right? So, I mean, you can find services that'll push content out for you all day long.
Yeah.
But that's not what you should be doing. You need to understand exactly who it is you're wanting to attract, and then you craft a strategy to get in front of that demographic.
By liking other businesses and like following other pages, so that those businesses are looking at your stuff that makes their audience catch on, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah. There's a bit more to it, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'd be happy to take a look at what you have going on if you want to, you know, we could just
Yeah.
hop on a Zoom and happy to look at anybody's, honestly. If you guys want to just schedule a Zoom with me, you can go to behindyourcurtain.com, and then right at the top of the page, you can get a link to schedule a consult with me. So
Perfect.
yeah, happy to look at anybody's and give you some advice on what you can be doing.
Awesome, thank
Okay.
you.
Nice, Karen. That was